So what is there to do in Tyler, Texas and the East Texas area? I thought Tyler, Texas was just in the middle of a pine forest with nothing else to do, and it's just the most boring place in the world. I have people come up to me all the time, and these are the exact things they're telling me. They're thinking there's nothing to do in Tyler and it's just a boring, big, humid pine field. Well, today I'm here to tell you that that is not the case, and there is a lot of things to do in Tyler, Texas and the surrounding areas. And I'm going to go over my absolute favorite things to do in Tyler, Texas right now. Howdy everyone, and welcome back to the channel. For everyone new here, my name is Ronnie Withers, and if you want to know what it's like to live, eat, sleep, work and play in Tyler, Texas and the surrounding areas, then go ahead and smash that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so you're the first to be notified on any Tyler, Texas market updates. Me and my team are getting calls every single day of people just like you who are looking to either relocate to Tyler, move within Tyler, or sell their Tyler home. So if that does sound like you, so please reach out, give me a call, give me a text, or give me an email, and we can sit down, we can have a call, and we can get you into your dream Tyler home. Activities, things to do, excursions, whatever you like to call it, Tyler has it. Now I'm going to go over a list today of all the exciting things that you can do, and you can go and you can have a good time doing in Tyler or a slight drive outside of Tyler. I know that was one of my worries when I moved here from a little bit of a bigger town. I was wondering and I was worried, is there actually things to do, or are you just going to be sitting around bored all the time with nothing to do? Now I can tell you that is not the case. There are a lot of things to do here in Tyler. And let's start off with the first one, which is going to be the zoo. Who doesn't love going to the zoo? Well, we have a zoo here in Tyler. It's called Caldwell Zoo. It's up north a little bit. If you go around 10 minutes, 15 minutes from downtown, you're going to get to Caldwell Zoo. And you've got everything you need. I don't want to over-explain it to you. You know what a zoo is, but you've got your rhinos, your elephants, your hippos. I don't know if there's hippos. You've got giraffes, you've got tigers, you've got lions, you've got black bears. All that fun stuff. It's a great day out for the whole family, whether you just go as a young couple, or whether you take your kids as well, or an elderly couple taking your grandchildren, anything like that. A very, very fun day out at the zoo. They've got penguins, they've got different fish, they've got different insects and snakes and reptiles. It's just an amazing day out at the zoo, and sometimes they put on shows and things like that as well, and it's relatively inexpensive to go. You do have to pay admission, but it's relatively inexpensive to go to the zoo, to go to Caldwell Zoo, and it's highly worth it in my book. Moving on from the zoo, we're going to have something that you can also learn a little bit as well. We have a location called the Discovery Science Place. And it's a little science museum. It's a children's museum. It's a little science museum, and it's located in an old car dealership. There's a lot of different stations and exhibits here, and there's fossils. You learn about space. It's just a lot of good things for the kids. Now, I'm sure as adults you might find it really interesting too, but it's a really good place to take your kids, and you can teach them about science. And you've got a little bit of history about Tyler and Smith County as well there. You've got a little Smith County courthouse exhibit, which is pretty cool. But that's a really good activity to do, and just take your kids to learn a little bit more about Tyler and science and everything along that nature as well. I couldn't make a list of things to do in Tyler, the rose capital of America, without mentioning Tyler Rose Garden. Tyler Rose Garden is exactly what it sounds like. It's a rose garden in Tyler. But this is not just like your grandma and grandpa's rose garden. This rose garden is 14 acres, over 200 varieties of roses, 32,000 bushes of roses. I never thought I'd be getting this excited and enthusiastic about roses, but I am. This is like our badge of honor here in Tyler. But a lot of roses. It's an absolutely beautiful place. If you do go, you can go any time of the year, but remember that roses bloom here in Tyler at least, in October and mid to late May. So if you go in other times around that, just be prepared to not see many blooming roses, but it's still really interesting to go. The first time I ever went, none of the roses were blooming, but there's a load of signs. You can learn a lot about roses, about the history of Tyler, and it's a really interesting place to go. But in October and May time, you could stay there and just do a photo shoot. People have engagement photo shoots there. People have wedding photo shoots there. It's an absolutely beautiful place, and I highly, highly recommend you checking it out. The next one's for you history nerds out there. So we have the Goodman LeGrand House, Museum and Garden. So basically what this is a really old house in Tyler. And at the moment it's a museum, but it was built in 1859. And a family was living there, and it's kind of descended a little bit. Different families have moved in. The last owners were the Goodman LeGrand family. And when Sally Goodman LeGrand died, and her husband had already died, she died in 1939. And actually, in her will, she gave the house to the city of Tyler. She wanted it to stay alive, and she wanted it to actually be a museum. And that's exactly what it is today. It's a museum, and you'll learn all about the history of Tyler. You'll have a lot of old things in there, and it's just such one of the oldest buildings in Tyler. And you're just going to get all that history as well about how it was built, when it was built, what was going on around the times. And it's quite a big house as well, so you can tour the different rooms, and it's just a really interesting house and museum to go around. And it's on 9 acres, and the gardens are absolutely beautiful. So if you like history as well as that beauty of the gardens, then go check it out. And you can take guided tours there as well. But I'd highly recommend it to learn about the history. If you're living in Tyler, if you're new to Tyler, or if not, if you just haven't been, then go see it. You'll learn a lot more about the history of this absolutely beautiful town. One thing I absolutely love about Tyler and the other little cities around here is the amount of parks we have here. You will never be stuck for choice if you want to go to a park. If you're the type of person that loves doing anything at what you can think of doing at the park, walking, playing sports, going on hikes, anything like that, we have so many parks here in Tyler. Just to list a few, we've got Bergfeld, we've got Southside, we've got Faulkner Park, we've got Lindsay Park. When I'm talking about Faulkner Park as well, they've got a really nice new outside sports area where you've got tennis courts, you've got pickleball courts, you've got baseball fields, you've got softball fields, anything you can think of are in all of these different parks. And if you're the type of person that likes sports, all of these parks, and when you go into Bullard, White House, Chandler, all of these have beautiful parks as well. And you are spoiled for choice when it comes to parks here. You don't have to travel that far if you're a type of person that likes being in the outside, likes going on walks. There's so many walking trails in the parks. You could be walking for miles and miles and never go on the same path. And also a lot of mountain bike trails as well. So if you're a mountain biker, then go to one of the parks. But I know there's a few of the parks that also have little splash pads for kids as well. And that's really good for this time of year now where it's 100 degrees, humid in the summer. They open up the splash pads for the kids and whoever wants to cool off. They're amazing places, but I could spend many a day at the parks here in Tyler and East Texas. They're amazing places to be. And you can explore a different park every day, and you could be here for a month and check out and not have even checked out all the parks. If you want to move from the heat of the parks and you want to go inside somewhere to do something fun, then we have escape rooms here in Tyler. I know they were getting really popular over the last couple of years, but we have 2 main escape rooms. We have Tyler Escape Room, and then we have the Escapology Escape Room. Now, I haven't done any of these escape rooms yet, but I've been told by many people that they are very fun. I've heard very, very good things about the escape rooms in Tyler, and it would be a really good date or a couple date, double date, whatever, things to do with your friends. Maybe go and do an escape room. And if you do one, let me know in the comments, how is it? One of the things you'll see if you ever Google Tyler, which I'm sure you have to find this video, is you'll find out about Tyler State Park. Now, this is a bunch of acres. You've got a lake on there as well. You've got some water. You've got a lot of hiking trails. Tyler State Park is a really, really nice outside place to be. It's a little bit north. You have to drive around 30 minutes from Tyler to get up to Tyler State Park, but it's really worth the drive. You pay your fee to get in. It's only a couple of dollars. You go there and you can spend the whole day there. Like I said, with the other parks, it's like the other parks, but supersized. Like I said, there's a lot of hiking loops. You've got the water, the pond/lake. You can rent kayaks, you can rent paddle boards, anything like that. You can go out, you can go fishing. The state park is a really good day out, especially if you're an outsidey kind of person and you're an active individual, then go to Tyler State Park. If you're not the type of person that likes to get really close to nature and you like your shopping, then we have a mall here in Tyler, which is called the Broadway Square Mall. Now, you can look it up yourself. It's got a lot of the major stores, a Dillard's, a Dick's Sporting Goods, you got a Build-A-Bear, great places to eat. Not too much I'll say about the mall, but it's a great place. And Also, me coming from England, we don't really have malls the size that we do here in America. So every time I go in, I love just walking around and seeing how huge the stores are and anything you can buy there. So we do have a mall. It's kind of located south of downtown a little bit, Broadway Square. But it's a great mall, a great place to be. And you've always got to have a mall in a nice small town. That always makes it a bit better. We keep on going south a little bit. We get really close to Bullard and we have a place called Kiepersol Estates. Now, Kiepersol is a winery. So a vineyard and winery. So you can go in, you can take tours of the winery and the vineyard, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's right in the countryside near Bullard. Kiepersol also have a restaurant as well that I've also mentioned on my top restaurants, top places to eat in Tyler video, which I'll link right about here. But Kiepersol is a really good experience. It's one of those things, it's kind of the more luxury things, luxury styles. You can get dressed up for dinner, go on a winery vineyard tour, have a couple glasses of wine and have a great time. That is down south towards Bullard a little bit, so probably around 20 minutes south of the square in Tyler. But if you like fine dining, if you like wine, if you like feeling like you're in Italy or in southern France, but you're actually in Tyler, Texas, then go see Kiepersol. Kind of going on a tangent a little bit from wine, we're going to be talking about beer now. So breweries. The main breweries, the main places that brew beer here in Tyler are True Vine Brewery and ETX Brewhouse. Both of these places are amazing. So you have ETX, which is very close to the square. It's a really good brewery. There's some great beers there. And then we also have True Vine as well, which I really love True Vine. There's two locations, one on the square in downtown. That's a really good one. And there's also one at the Mosaic District as well. And that's the bigger one. There's a stage where there's live music. It's right connected to Solar Bread Company. I love going to that True Vine. They have amazing beers. I'm a sour guy. I love my sour beers. They have, at the moment, they call it a Sour Batch Kids. It's really good. But it's not just the brewery. That's the whole experience. You can go on a date night there, or you can take your friends there. It's a really good brewery and you can get some good food as well. I'll put some photos up just to show how beautiful it is, but it's a really good day or a night out as well. And you can taste some really tasty beers. I never thought moving from Kentucky to Tyler, Texas, that we'd have such good beers, but real shout out to ETX and True Vine. You got some really tasty beers. And with True Vine being in the Mosaic District, there's also a lot of small businesses that are coming into that Mosaic District now. I'd keep an eye out for that. There's some food places. There's actually a candy apple store there. So keep an eye out over the next couple of months and years. I have a feeling that's going to have some really good businesses in. So that's something to do as well. If you're close to downtown, then I'd highly recommend just having a drive through the historic districts here in Tyler. You'll notice them kind of from the red brick streets. We've got historic districts where the houses, some of the older houses were built in the late 1800s. It's when the oil workers came around that time. They built the houses and they're just really old historic districts. There's rules in place where certain homes, you can't do certain things to houses. So we're trying to maintain that history, but they're really beautiful. Have a drive around. You'll see a really tiny one bed, one bath house. And then next to it, you'll see a huge $1 million old style mansion. If you're driving around, have a look for the Azalea District, have a look for Brick Streets, the Charnwood neighborhoods. They're really good neighborhoods to go around. And I've done some videos in the historic districts, but the houses, if you like houses like I do, seeing as I'm a real estate agent, cheeky little plug there. I think you'll find it pretty interesting just spending an hour or so just driving around the Azalea District or the historic districts and just looking at some beautiful houses. Also on the square in Tyler is Liberty Theatre. Liberty Theatre is a really old school theatre. It's a movie theatre, a normal theatre as well. There's comedy shows, there's live productions there. It's an all-around great place to go out for a night out. I don't know exactly what's playing at the moment, but normally it's a movie theatre, but a lot of the shows are played as well. And it's just an old school theatre, downtown Tyler. It really adds to the town and just gives you those small town feelings, and It's just a really great place to be. I'm looking forward to checking out my next show. The next thing on my list to do here in Tyler is go to the lakes. There's a lot of lakes around here. The two main ones are going to be Lake Tyler, which is kind of by the White House area. And then we have Lake Palestine as well, which is kind of in Bullard and Chandler. These are two huge lakes. You can do anything that you could imagine to do on a lake. You can fish, you can swim, get your boats on there. There's several docks. They're amazing lakes to be, and they're not too crowded either. Because the Tyler and East Texas area is at the moment quite a well-kept secret, the lakes aren't packed. Now, on the holidays, when it gets hot, you're gonna have more people there, but it's not completely packed where you can't fit a single person in. The lakes are absolutely beautiful. Some of the times when I'm driving over the bridge to go into Chandler, it just feels like I'm in Florida. Seeing that beautiful, beautiful sparkly water, they're both absolutely beautiful. And even though those two lakes are the biggest, they're not the only lakes we have here in Tyler. There's lots of little lakes dotted around, and there's a lot of lake communities. So, I mean, we've got Hideaway Lake. If you branch out a little further, we have smaller lakes where they're private communities and you can buy a little lake house and you can have a really good time. But I really didn't know that East Texas had so many lakes, but we really do. There are so many lakes. If you love lake living, then come check us out here in Tyler. You will not get bored of the lakes that we have here. And there's a lot of places where you can hire boats, hire jet skis, you can hire fishing equipment. Anything you want to do in a lake, you can do around here. So one of the big grocery stores we have here is Brookshire's. Now, the next thing I'm going to suggest doing is a company that's owned by Brookshire's, and it's called Fresh by Brookshire's. And it's almost like a Whole Foods store. It's our equivalent where it has organic food, a little bit more expensive, but some really good food. And it's got a market in there. This is just really different than just your average grocery store. Whenever I try and explain it to someone, it's hard because it technically is a grocery store, but it's a lot more. So you go in and there's a lot of different stalls and stands. So you can get pizza cooked to order. There's a Mexican section where you can get burritos, you can get tacos, you can get anything like that. There's a sushi bar, there's pho, I don't know how to pronounce it, sorry if I offended anyone, but there's a lot of fresh food you can get. And you can also get some really nice craft beers. And then when you go outside of Fresh, on certain times and certain days, there's live music playing on a stage. There's a little seating area where you can sit, you can eat your food, and there's a kids play area. It's almost like an event space rather than just a grocery store. Don't think of it as a grocery store. Think of it as like a night out. And they also, my wife and I just went to an event at Fresh, and it was a flights and bites event where there were 6 or 7 different stalls, and you paid a certain amount of money to go in. It wasn't too much. It was like $6 or $7. You got a wine glass, and every one of the stalls you went to, you got a glass of wine, and you got a cheese or a meat or a combination of both to pair up with the wine. And it was just a really fun event, and it was like a little date night for my wife and I. And we had a really good time. And there's a lot of different events like that. And like I said, live music, just a chance to have a really good time. So one of the less known ones, but go to Fresh, check it out, and worst case scenario, just get some good food. And the very last thing on my list, I kind of mentioned it earlier, but it's going to be walking trails. It feels like an endless supply of walking trails here. A lot of them are located in the parks, like I mentioned earlier, but we also have trails like the Legacy Trail in South Tyler, which is a 3-mile long walking trail. You go down there, it's beautiful, you're in a cover of trees, and it's a good way to go on a walk and get some exercise in. But so many walking trails. If you're an active person, if you like walking, if you like biking trails, then we have them here. That's all I can say. It's an amazing place. My wife and I still haven't explored all the different walking paths, but that is our goal. We love walking. There are a lot of walking paths here in Tyler, around the park areas, and we're in East Texas, we're in the country. It's a small town, got to get that walking in and just get that fresh East Texas air. So that wraps up my list. If you think of anything else, just leave them in the comment box below, and maybe I'll do a part 2 to this video if I get enough comments. If this list of things to do in Tyler really just pushed you over the edge and now you want to live here, then like I said earlier, just reach out, give me a call, text or email, and we'll get you into that dream Tyler home. Thank you very, very much for watching. Please like the video if you liked the video, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, cheerio.